This morning, we're going to be talking about two issues. Our ladies are here and seated. First, we're going to be talking about the verdict on the high treason case which came out yesterday. 6 persons alleged to have conspired or to have been coup plotters have been sentenced to a very chilling sentence, if you ask me, to death by hanging. 3 of them were acquitted and discharged. Also, we're going to be talking about VAT on electricity, which we've been talking about for some time now. If you know, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, in a letter to the ECG and NEDCO, instructed that 15% VAT be put on electricity for all above lifeline consumers. A lot of calls have come for this to be scrapped, and top of the conversation is a call from the TUC, who say that they are giving the government up to the 31st of January to withdraw this tax, else they will advise themselves, as they put it. Ex-President Mahama has commented on this issue, and he appears to be throwing his weight behind the TUC, supporting the call for the scrap of this tax. We're going to be talking about that this morning. In the studio today, our ladies are here. Aisha Al-Hassan, National Communications Team Member of the NDC. I haven't seen you this year, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
You're looking very beautiful today.
Thank you, Nah.
I see 2024 is being kind to you.
Really? Okay. We are just trying to, come out beautiful so that we can confuse our enemies.
Hey.
That's what we are doing.
I see. All right. Also here with us, our very regular guest, Nanaya Achimpim Jantwa, Executive Secretary of COSECA and political analyst. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You're welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you.
And also, Laratu Musa Saka, National Communications Team Member, the MPP, is here with us.
Why do you have
Laratu.
this cynical smile on your face?
Because she and I have had a conversation about her name this morning. So,
Her name?
yes.
Yeah.
You know, there's the South African version, which is Laratu.
And someone is
And I've been calling her Laratu.
correcting her.
Yes.
But your name is what?
Larato.
But she's saying Larato.
Larato.
Oh, Larato.
Yes.
Oh, but just the U and the
Yes.
O.
Larato.
Call her Larato.
So this morning I've learned.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year.
Many happy returns. You're welcome. Are you guys, or did you guys also suffer the heartbreak of the Black Stars? Have you recovered?
Oh. How can we recover?
You haven't recovered?
I haven't recovered because I don't know why Keto Creek, who is still sitting in his office. They should sack him. Sack everybody.
But we've sacked the coach.
No. They should sack it's not only the coach.
It's not only the coach.
Yes, because just this morning when I was coming, I was listening to a sister station. I felt he even has teams. He has an agency that grooms young players and send them to these tournaments. And the people are not well groomed. I mean, there are so many stories. He's also part of his administration. And he directs the coach, the GFA. They direct the coach.
So you think he might have a conflict of interest?
Yes, all of them should go. The coach, GFA, the whole team.
The Black Stars team itself.
They should dissolve it.
I think the technical team has been dissolved.
They should dissolve everything. I've heard FIFA will ban. Yes, FIFA should ban us for 5 years so that we take time to build the team.
Ban us for doing what?
For going to the tournament. I've heard that
Ban
if
us
we try.
for going to the tournament.
Yes, if we try and dissolve.
Yeah, but you don't have to interfere. They have their
What
own
is
rules.
interference?
They have their own
Oh no, they shouldn't use
They
this.
elect their leaders.
Yes.
No.
They
They
go
should.
elect their
So
leaders.
you think we need a 5-year break?
Yes, we need a 5-year break to build that.
reconstruct.
Please, the heartbreak is too much.
I stopped giving them my heart.
Yes,
from
yes,
A long
yes.
time
listening
ago.
it.
I see.
So
That's
now I
your
just
co-
watch as
So
a
you're not so
Ghanaian,
hurt.
wish them well, but not.
What hurt me is the
emotions in
Mozambique
it.
one. I mean, I just was just going to the kitchen to do
I know,
something.
Turn around.
It's food
By the
for
time
much,
I came back,
I
the
know.
people have equalized.
Yes.
Yeah, we
In
need
the
to
last
five
few
minutes.
minutes.
It's a game.
Yes, the last few minutes of
Yes.
the game.
Football, 6 minutes, last 6 minutes of the game.
Anyway, well, we are all recovering. This morning we've played some gospel
Has
songs
Cookie recovered?
to help. Yes, Cookie appears
I was
to have
really worried
recovered.
about her because she was in denial the following day. She was in so much denial. I hope she's recovered.
Well, I know one thing that can help her feel better. You can just mumu her.
Oh, she has enough money.
She has enough money.
She said she was giving
it's true,
That's what
didn't
she said.
she?
Oh, please.
So she doesn't
She
need
said
more.
she was giving.
But
she was
even
going
the
to give.
sea, raised into the
No,
sea.
but she said she has enough. You know how when the water bodies overflow their banks, she's at that point.
So she has to let more go.
Yes, she has to let it flow.
We got a message from one of our regular panelists here on the show, Nanekia Avle. She has lost her father, unfortunately. Nanekia, our hearts are with you. Our deepest condolences to you and your family. The funeral is happening this weekend, Saturday 27th and Sunday 28th of January at Sokoban. Is it?
In Ashanti region.
Yes, in the Ashanti region. So Sokobam.
Sokobang.
Yes, Sokobang. It's not bang.
Sokobang.
Sokobang. All right. Sokobang. And then perhaps you help me pronounce this too. Ampabim.
Ampabing.
School Park.
Yes,
all right.
School Park. Yes.
So it's happening from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. each day. If you're able to go to the Ashanti region, and please go and support our sister Nanekia Avle, who has lost her father. On today's discussion, we'll begin with the conviction of the 6 accused persons who were allegedly involved in a coup plot. There are some videos from outside the courthouse after the verdict was read. Let's first watch this video of the Attorney General.
The process of Ghana. It shows that the judicial process in Ghana actually works. Indeed, if you look at the judges and their examination of the evidence, it was such a meticulous study of all the evidence that had been put together by the prosecution. The manner in which the trial has been conducted, we must also pay compliment to the Ghana Armed Forces and Military Command, especially the Defense Intelligence, who picked up the right signals and cleverly monitored them and indeed gathered the evidence. Otherwise, I'm sure Ghana perhaps would have been in disarray by now.
He said, look, if you are going to demonstrate on such matters, pass through the legal channels. That's what I said. And yet the state wove a very frivolous case, frivolous to the highest degree around his neck. And today you see the court has exonerated him. We'll sue the state for compensation. But this case has always been frivolous against him from day one.
They hadn't critically looked at some of the cross-examination and evidence, some of the loopholes. And I think that is a process. We would definitely be going to the Supreme Court for it to also look at the evidence. We believe that some of the charges, you saw the soldiers, it was conspiracy, but they've been acquitted on the substantive charge. So these are things that we would test.
ACP Benjamin Agojo maintains he was confident from day one because he knew he was innocent.
That is how it's going to end today. I didn't know when it was going to end, but I knew how it was going to end. It's like watching a movie, a replay with somebody. You know the end, but the person doesn't know. So you people didn't know the end. I knew the end. So
He appears as ACP Agojo, one of the people who were acquitted and discharged yesterday. There were 3 of them who were acquitted and discharged yesterday in court. He arrived in court in a white shirt. He appears to have known that he was going to win. He actually said so, that he's always known from the start of the case that he was going to be acquitted and discharged. He didn't know when it would be, but he was sure he was going to be acquitted and discharged. In fact, some of his family members also spoke, and they said that they knew that this is how the case was going to go. And so he's going home. However, that's not the fate of 6 others who have been sentenced to death by hanging by the neck. And the judge actually said in her ruling, they are sentenced to death by hanging by the neck to die. And after their death, the president will choose where they should be buried. It was very chilling to read that. Did you follow the case? It's been running for 3 years, actually, since 2019.
2019, yeah.
That's more than 3 years.
Yeah. This would be the 4th year.
I think they were rearrested in 2021.
Yes.
It started in 2019. They were rearrested in 2021. So,
what do you make of the ruling?
Good morning, and good morning to my sisters Aisha and Clara too. Happy New Year to them.
Many happy returns.
And my condolences goes to my sister and my friend Naneku have led today as she mourns the father at the weekend. Yesterday, when the whole thing started, I said, but these people look very innocent and harmless. So why should anybody even waste their time taking them to court? I mean, it didn't make sense to me that they tried to stage a coup and cause some destabilization of the government. So I didn't take it seriously. And I thought it was some joke or something. So yesterday, I hadn't even with time, I hadn't even followed it keenly because I didn't think that it was anything to go by. But yesterday when I watched TV3, I normally do, and I saw that 6 of them have been sentenced to hanging, and that was a bit, it's gruesome. I mean, a bit, it's not humane. I don't know if we can't find money to, if we still want to keep the death penalty, they should die in some form of dignity. Hanging is not a very pleasant way to go to heaven or hell. So why can't the nation get an electric chair? Death by that injection, the lethal injection, which I know, I mean, you will go gradually, but to hang till you die. But I know that most people are on death row are not even killed, and they are there, but the conditions at the death row is not very pleasant. Even conditions in any prison, if you ever enter the prison, is not very pleasant. So in the night, I was a bit distraught, especially when I saw the woman, Esther. So immediately I told myself that women should come together and do a petition to the president that she should be exempted, and to think that she also has a 2-year-old child who maybe today will be, yes, maybe 3, 4. At the time the child was a baby when it all started, yeah, be 5. So I was very distraught. I mean, I had tears in my eyes. I said, women normally don't get involved in these things. And how can they? I mean, you should temper justice with mercy. Sometimes when women go through some of these things, you have to look at what made her do what she did. It's very, very important. That is not our modus operandi. We do not behave in that manner. I'm not saying that men do that, but men have more courage to explore. But especially if you're a mother, you are very circumspect in the way you do things. So it came as a shock to me, and I was very disturbed, and it even disturbed my night prayer. And I didn't even know what to make of it. So I placed a call. I placed a call to somebody, and I started asking questions. And then I got to know that she actually was highly involved in the matter. And the person gave me a rundown of how they were manufacturing bombs, how they were stocking guns, how they even went to the Teshi shooting range to test on goats and all that. And how they wanted to capture the president and, I mean, kill him or whatever. I mean, that one. And I said, how? And actually, all I heard was a bit. And I said, why should anybody do that? We have a dispensation. And the person even told me that the woman was going to be the chief of staff. So we have a dispensation where we have the ballot box to take out leaders we do not want. And if you live through a certain period in our lives, I don't think that anybody wants destabilization. Yes, of course, we are not going through good times. Yes, of course, there has been some mismanagement of the economy, but we have the laxity to vote this government out, and to also think that it was in 2018. 2019. I mean, why should anybody do that? 3 years after a government has taken over, you want to stage a coup, and it's a civilian who was leading it, a medical doctor. And I heard the man is dead. What is his name? McPound.
Yeah.
So I asked the person, are you sure this man is dead? Or he has staged his death? Because somebody, a medical doctor who has such a diabolical mind, wanting to take over, who is he doing it with? Who are behind this? A civilian who has that kind of courage to do all that, and he was keeping these bombs in his hospital. So it means that the man is some very dangerous person. Because a doctor, you are supposed to think about your patients. How then do you keep bombs on the premises where you treat patients? So, I mean, I was like, so all this, how could they even think about doing that? But the Esther zone really hits me.
Because she's a woman.
Because naturally, you see, to grow up with one parent in prison, you should this thing. I've gone through it because my father was a politician, and he was in and out of prison every time. He'll go and talk, and he will say it as it is, and the next moment he's bundled to prison. And because I come from a political family, I've experienced it. And to think that a 2-year-old will not see the mother for the rest of their life. She had 3 children. The man will definitely marry. He will remarry. I don't think he will sit and wait forever. He will definitely remarry. And these kids are going to be brought up by another woman. So, I mean, when I heard the true story, it got me a bit confused. But I still feel sympathy for her. Because I told the person I was speaking to that it is possible this woman got into a relationship with this doctor. And the person being a doctor manipulated her. And you know, women have a lot of loyalty. So maybe this man found a soft spot to manipulate this woman. And sometimes we need to go beyond when it comes to women to see, yes, I'm not saying that women are good, better than men. We are not. We are one. We are one. We walk side by side. But why are you laughing? No. I mean, seriously, this is something that has really hit me, right? Because to see a woman on death row.
It's not something we see often.
Yes, she didn't kill anybody.
It's not something we see
She
often.
didn't commit a murder, but she was involved in a scheme of which...
What she was going to do,
Pardon?
if I succeeded, would have killed people, wouldn't it?
That is what I'm saying. So, I mean, for me, I'm wondering how did she get herself involved in this? That today she's left her children, and now she's in a very bad place. You have to go to the prisons to know what is there. I always say that sometimes the prison, they should do an open house for people to go and visit. Because you have to be in there to know. So I just envisage that, where is she going to? Even here, the female side is a bit better if it's in Sawam. But you be rotated.
You don't stay in the same prison?
No, for her, she might be there because they can take her anywhere because she's on death row. She's not. You have only 1 hour to come out a day. In a day, even in the yard, 1 hour. If you're on death row, you get only 1 hour to come out to stretch and you are locked up again. So why do you put yourself into it? And I also believe that, I think that there should be a lot of education about WhatsApp groups, about groups that people join. Because I think initially, it's possible she went in without thinking through it. They made her maybe believe that the government has to go. So I don't know. I don't know how she would bring herself into this. Because you see, naturally, I believe you're a mother. If you have children, your lifestyle should be different from the other person who hasn't got children. I always tell myself that when I was young, I was a bit wild. Do you get me? I was a bit wild, and immediately I had a child, I changed. Do you get me? I changed immediately. I mean, everybody was surprised. I changed because I then noticed that I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility. So everything that I did, I made sure that it was not going to affect my child. But for this woman, I am sad. I wish something can be done about it.
Well, I think the appeal process is available to them, and they may appeal. We don't know.
They said they will appeal
now. For some of them, but for her, I don't think I've heard her speak or her lawyer speak about her. I think.
But I'm surprised at Martin Pebu. Your client has been able to go out of this, and he says he's going back to court to file charges.
They're suing he says that they will sue for malicious prosecution.
Compensation.
Yeah, and compensation. So.
Is it necessary? The man.
Well, if you believe that the state has put you through an unnecessary criminal trial, and it was if you believe that, then it's available to you. Malicious prosecution is available to you. You can sue for compensation, because it's been 3 years, and if you have been acquitted and discharged, meaning that you did not do what you have been accused of doing.
But what surprises me, the man, when he was going, who goes to court and knows that he was going to be acquitted? Unless he's a prophet or something.
Well, he says that because he knows that he had not done what they had said he had done.
But does
he
he know
followed the trial?
The number of innocent people who are in jail?
Well, it's another
in
matter.
America, everywhere they are there. So the way he was so sure that he was going to be acquitted. Anyway.
It's a point of concern for you, eh?
Yeah, because he was so sure. But maybe if you have faith, in God, everything is possible. Yeah.
Laura, too.
Yes. Now, on the, I wish to express my condolences to Nanaya. Nanaya on the death of her father. Wish her and the family well. There's never an easy one. And talking about death, 21st January marked a year since Lepora Jaola passed.
Oh, it's come so fast.
Yes, come so fast. And today is the 1 year Adoa, so I wish the family well. All of us should have been there, but unfortunately we can't be there. So I wish the family well. May Allah continue to be pleased with him. I mean, he's practically the main person who mentored me to where I am now.
So sorry.
He's more than a father. So let's go to the issues, and good morning to our viewers and Happy New Year. I've maintained that when it comes to security issues, when security picks an issue and is pursuing it, we all need to be circumspect in how we discuss the issues. Because what they see and what they can pick up goes beyond us. Like Nanaya is saying, from the beginning, there was a lot of, should I say, jokes? There were a lot of statements that were made to belittle the attempt of trying to bring this group of people to book. And today, it's been 5 years going on since the issue was picked up in 2019, and there's a judgment. For me, it's a lesson for all of us to learn and also know that we have systems, we have rules, we have laws that govern us, even apart from the laws, by natural justice. You can't just sit down and conceive something that will maim or destroy another person. Nobody wishes death for another human being. If you wish death for another human being, then you are not fit to be with us as a human being. But we live in a society where you pay for whatever you pursue or whatever you conceive. Seeing a woman with a child being children being sentenced to death by hanging is not any. If you are really human and as a mother, like Nanaya said, you do a lot of things, but the moment you become a mother, your outlook to life changes. There are a lot of things that I could do now. I think about the responsibility I have. I look at them and it measures how I approach those things. It's natural. The maternal instincts are natural. But sometimes we all think differently. This has been going on for a long time. And if we all remember, around the time that this issue was picked up by our security agencies, there was a lot of insurgency across the sub-region. There's a coup here, there are terrorists coming in from here, borders are being secured. Remember at a point, the armed forces, the military was even discharged to most of our borders to keep them safe. So the time that they started this thing, a government had been in office for barely 2 years. Because Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was sworn in 2017, 2019, some of this. So there are a lot of issues happening at the time. The security agencies couldn't take chances with this. But at the end of the day, nobody is guilty until proven guilty. You have to go through and this should also tell us, we have separation of powers. This is solely within the mandate of the judiciary, and they've done their work. The people that have been acquitted and want compensation and all that is within their rights. Those that have been charged and sentenced, they also have the right to seek for appeal. It's a system, but it's a lesson for all of us. The things we say, the people we deal with, the groups we join. Don't go joining a group without knowing the thinking of the people in the group, without knowing the agenda. Nobody just gets up and sets a group. Even if we decide to set a WhatsApp platform now, it definitely will be for a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, so when you are joining a group, when you are joining any association, you must know what the thinking is and what before you are misled into getting yourself into these things. And these days, because of digitalization and access to devices and all that, people can sit in their comfort of their rooms and do all sorts of things and moot all sorts of agenda. So we all need to be careful. The world has become smaller by virtue of technology.
Yeah.
Today, as we sit here, anywhere in this part of the world, by virtue of the fact that you're streaming live on Facebook, anybody that has access to internet or access to a device that can go on a line can see us real time. But hitherto, even within Ghana, before someone gets a news item, especially up north, it's after a week or 3 days when the news is virtually dead news. So things happen by the minute, by the second. And we need to be careful, especially when it comes to security issues and things that our laws frown upon. Treason is the highest crime in our land. So for you to be alleged and now convicted of attempting to and committing high treason is something that we all need to pick lessons of, and it's something that we all need to have, irrespective of our biases, irrespective of our principles and whatever we hold dear when it comes to the sovereignty of our nation, when it comes to the peace of our nation, when it comes to the security of our nation. We all need to hold it dear. There's no country called Ghana anywhere that, touch wood, God forbid, if this one is in flames, we can all run to for safety. It's this country that we have. So when we decide to take decisions, we need to minimize the selfishness of it.
But how do you
put
feel
this
about the
country
death
first.
penalty? They've been sentenced to death by hanging. Do you feel that that is an appropriate punishment for them?
No.
That's what the law dictates. But
that is
there have been calls.
that's what the law dictates.
There have been calls for it to
That's
be
the highest
scrapped.
punishment for crime, and high treason is the highest crime in our land.
Yes.
That's anybody
But
can commit.
the,
But for
there
me,
have been calls for it to be
coming
scrapped. There's a bill.
Oh, yes.
But the president has not signed it yet.
well, the president has given reasons for holding on to it, but I don't think any president has signed the death sentence ever.
Since 1993.
Yes, nobody
Yes.
has. So most of those people that are convicted today are either in the condemned cell
Yes,
or
that's what they
something.
call it
That's what they
loosely.
call
Condemned cells,
the
yeah.
condemned cells or something like that. They don't
Yes.
see.
But being on death row, if you talk to people who are on
sitting
death
there-
row, they will
I mean,
tell you
coming
that
from living law, and
even
coming
though you
from,
know they are not going to actually execute you because they haven't done it since 1993, the anxiety
yes,
that, what if?
for me,
The what if alone
coming from
keeps
a,
them living in
yes,
constant
coming from
fear.
that alone is not even good for anybody's
Yeah.
mental state
Some of them
or
want to
anybody.
even
I mean,
be
from
killed.
a compassionate point of view, and as a human, definitely, if there are ways to lessen the sentence, why not? I mean, once
Especially the
nobody has signed it since 1993, and I doubt if anybody is going to sign it now. I mean, at least then they know that this is my fate. I'm there, life imprisonment and all that. But these are matters of the law. It's not for us
Yes,
to
but as a
determine.
social discussion, do you think
No,
that
that's
it would be
I
better to
think
just
give
sentence
them a
them
life
to life
sentence. Yes, I mean
imprisonment instead of
that's
saying death
realistic.
by
Then they
hanging
know that
and
I'm
then-
here for life.
Yeah.
I'm not going out. I'm living here. This is where I've brought myself by virtue of the actions and inactions that I took. And these are adults. These are not children. These are sane adults. They are not children who took decisions. But I mean, from a compassionate, definitely now it keeps their state of mind in. They know their situation. They don't live in anxiety, and it also has its own repercussions on their health and all that. But let's all learn from this. Let's pick lessons from this and know that we live in a nation. No matter what we think, no matter what we feel, we don't live on an island. We live with other people that our actions and inactions affect.
will affect. All right. Kizito from Tema East constituency says, good morning now. Those exonerated need their compensation, and the death sentence as a law must also be amended. The political class which has been milking us to the bone are the ones who should be punished in this way. And then he says, now read it all. I have suffered before getting your number. All right, Kizito, I've read your message. Thank you for sending it in. All right. Aisha.
Now, okay, good morning to you once again and to the viewers. I would also want to use the opportunity to express my condolences to Nane Kuyavle, my sister and comrade, for the loss of her father. And again, unfortunately, the father's funeral has coincided with one of our fallen heroes, Mauli Fuga. This Saturday, he will be buried at the St. Michael's Catholic Church, opposite the 37 Trotro station. He would be, there will be filing past of the remains from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So I would want to use this opportunity to urge all comrades to show up and pay our last respect to our brother and comrade. Now to the issue. Now, Chapter 1 of our Constitution, under Article 3, the clauses and all the sub-clauses, have made it clear on what to do to defend our Constitution and the punishment that comes with subverting it. So, for anybody to take the risk to subvert our Constitution, I'm very much disappointed. I'm very much disappointed because the risk is not worth it. It's not worth the risk. Auntie Nanaya has spoken extensively on the woman bit, and I wouldn't want to go there, but the risk is not worth it at all. You know, coup d'etats destabilizes a country. The political economy is affected. Economic issues will come to a halt. Cultural, social, and all the factors you can think of. It affects them. And we are already in a country that we are, even without coup, we are already suffering such, we are suffering from such factors. The economic factor is not good for us. Social, cultural, everything is not good. So why think of getting yourself involved in a coup to destabilize the economy the more? Especially as you're dealing with a government that has been paranoid from the very first day it assumed office.
Has been paranoid?
Yes, because probably they knew they were up to no good. From the very first day they assumed office, they knew they were up to no good. So they've been paranoid about everything.
Why do you say so?
You see, the reason why I say they've been paranoid, even ACP Agojo, in his case, for instance, he didn't plan any coup. There was no concrete evidence against him. And at a point, he felt he was even being hounded. He was being persecuted because he has gone to criticize the political involvement in the police service. And he felt he was being persecuted. So this is a government that has been paranoid. Even at the least pronouncement, they kind of get alarmed that, hey, does this person want to harm me? If not, he made a statement about a repeat of the Arab Spring. And that was his crime. But in time past, we've had people in this country, people playing key political roles, like Wuntumi, making even more dangerous comments on the Arab Spring than he did.
Is Excellency Nanado himself?
Yes, Nanado himself. Nanado himself made a very damning statement about Arab Spring. And nobody went after him. Wuntumi actually said they were going to overthrow ex-President John Dramani Mahama.
He said that?
Yes, through an Arab Spring. He said it in 2014. And nobody bothered. So how is ACP Agojo's case different from what Nanado said and what Wuntumi said? So this is a government that thinks somebody is coming to harm them and would not, you can't afford to fall into their hands. They would take advantage and really mess your life. So I'm very much disappointed in this whole thing. I'm very much disappointed in the attempt to stage a coup. And for ACP Agojo, I think he should be compensated. Yes, because the man has been treated.
The three of them.
The three of them, himself and two other. He has been in the limelight than the two other military men. So I keep mentioning him. I think they should be compensated because ACP Agojo, as part of the persecution, was interdicted even before investigation would end. He was interdicted. I felt they could have waited for the investigation to be exhausted, for today to come, then they will say, okay, you are guilty, hence you've been interdicted. Then whatever punishment is there, they can give to him. But this is a man who said, I've made no treasonable comments. I've had no relationship with the so-called coup plotters. I just had to tell them that they should go and seek permission before they start any demonstration. and told them that the condition is not right for them because it can call for an Arab Spring. He advised them. So why go after him? So now, I would like to draw on the curtains on this matter so that we can move on to the next topic. That come 2024, the biggest coup in the history of Ghana. What happened?
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
The
Don't say
legal, that 2024. No, I'll
don't say
know,
that.
but let me end.
No.
No, I've not
I
ended.
know you
Through
haven't
the ballot
ended,
box.
but the statements you made.
No, I said
no, the statement.
2024 December 7th.
Don't say it that way.
Don't use a coup.
Yes, don't say a coup because you cannot say that.
Through the ballot boxes.
cannot-
No,
No.
that was not a coup.
I will
Through the ballot boxes.
recommend to
You
you,
see-
to
you
withdraw
see-
that
you see,
statement
it's
and
in
say it
quotes.
again another way.
Well,
Yes,
well,
yes, yes,
well, because you see,
Well, there'll be a change in government. I mean, that's it.
saying there will be a coup
No,
on December
don't say that.
2024.
Don't repeat
Okay,
it,
now, on December 2024 does not imply the people are going to carry guns, go to the Flagstaff House, and do whatever they want to do.
Somebody
I said
coup-
through the ballot box.
Yes, but when you say there will be a coup,
Anyway,
it implies an
The
illegal
overthrow,
change
yeah.
in government or an overthrow of the government. So just take
Anyway.
take it
But
back
somebody can take
and,
away
and
on the
say
face.
It's
and
an
say
idiomatic
another-
expression.
It's
so,
not.
Well,
Okay, well, if you will not
if-
withdraw,
if
we,
you think,
I on behalf of
if you
TV3
think,
would
if you
withdraw
think,
or
please, it's
dissociate
my time.
ourselves
So hold
from
on,
the
so that
statement that
I
you
don't.
just made.
It's not a matter of
Yes, we
opinion.
dissociate ourselves from
So-
the statement that she
Oh,
just
Lara,
made. And I recommend you also
Let her
withdraw
finish. No,
that
let her
statement.
finish. Let her finish. Then
So-
we'll talk.
It's not a matter
Let
of
her
opinion.
land.
So-
Let her land.
On December 2024, Nana Akufo-Addo is going to experience the biggest ousting ever in the history of Ghana. The biggest ousting. You said I shouldn't use school, so he's going to be ousted out of office
He's already gone.
together with his Baumia and the entire MPP. Yes, because I'm saying he's going to be ousted out of office because he's going to be a shadow president even when Baumia comes. But once Baumia is out, he's been ousted entirely with his Baumia. So,
All right,
I'll end.
Aisha, I would like to again say that we dissociate ourselves from the statement you just made about the fact that there will be a
Oh, she's
coup on
withdrawn.
December
She's
7th.
changed it.
I'm glad you changed
said
it.
through the ballot boxes.
Yes,
withdrawn
but you
it,
cannot
yeah.
say there will be a coup through any means.
No, she has withdrawn.
Yes, you cannot say that
She has
at all. All right, I'll read some messages and then we'll move on to our next topic. Musa Abatwa in Asawasi says, now please correct me if I'm wrong. Recently, Parliament passed a law to remove the death penalty in our constitution. So what is the purpose of convicting these people to death by hanging? Seriously, I need education on this because I'm lost.
It wasn't
Even though
assented
Aisha Al-Hassan provided some clarity, I entirely support the call by ACP Agojo and the others to demand compensation. So yes, even though the law has been passed, as we know it,
was
the president
assented.
must assent to it in accordance with the constitution for it to become law. So it has been passed, but the president must assent to it. The president has not yet assented to it. And so it remains as it is in the constitution that, you know, the sentence for a person who is convicted for committing high treason is death, the death sentence. So that's what it is. I stand for correction if anyone has any other view on it. But we're going to move on to our next topic for
Now,
discussion.
before we move, there's something that I mean, when I had
All
my
right, Nanaya.
discussions, I got some information. You see, the difference between the statements made before and this, that's why I'm saying that the lawyer should be cautious. Because I gathered that ACP Agojo was on the primary platform that they formed.
Okay.
Do you get me? That he was there with them discussing and everything. But the subsidiary platform that was formed for the actual planning of the event, he was not on it. And this is one of the things that saved him.
Okay.
Do you get me? And some statements that he made, which an expansion of the man's testimony,
after his death.
and also he made a statement about that would be a bank, but he explained it, I mean, in a way that was okay for the court,
judges.
for the judges. So I mean, if he was on a primary platform that was formed, he was like initially part of. So it also comes to the point that we should be careful. I mean, what kind of, because if you said that he was advising them not to do ABCD, in what capacity? How did he get that close to advise them not to do ABCD? So me, I believe that if he has, I mean, God, he has sang a song praising God, and I'm employing his lawyer to let it lie.
To leave it alone and
Yes,
go home.
yeah, before somebody comes to say that the Attorney General wants to appeal. Did you get me? Because if you are talking about, I don't know how these things work, but if you are going to talk about compensation, it's money and all that. And if government doesn't want to pay it, and somebody wants to go and ignite all manner of things, I think that as long as he's free, he should be free. They should reinstate him into the service, and whatever the service wants to do for him, they should do it for him, and let it lie, and let's move on.
Okay, now I would want to draw attention to something. I just look for the meaning of coup.
I don't think we should go on about
the second, there are two meanings to it.
Please,
The second one has stated clearly that an instance of successfully achieving something difficult, it means success, triumph, feat.
It's okay, let's go.
So you see, you
started
can't-
your points by reading the
Yeah, but
Constitution.
you can't just use one meaning
When
to
you read the
interpret what I'm saying.
In terms of what we are talking
No,
about,
no, don't do
in
that.
terms of the
The
change of
dictionary is
government,
clear.
when you use the word coup, the meaning is not the meaning, the other English meaning. See, in the context
now
of the
we don't
discussion
have
we are
much time.
having,
Can we
I think we should
continue?
actually
I
just
beg
drop
you.
this
Yes.
altogether. I think we should drop
when
it
we
altogether.
come, no.
Well,
but
I allowed
Nana,
the two of you to
When we
speak,
come to
so-
sit here, we should also know that we are talking to discerning Ghanaians who are watching us, you know. And when we are having a conversation, it's within a context. We are having a conversation within the context of people being charged for attempting and committing high treason by virtue of the actions they took and the groups they formed. As for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo leaving government, even a child who is born today knows that
has left
Nana
he's
Addo
left
Dankwa
his spirit.
Akufo-Addo, being the
shadow president with
president
power.
that he is, being the Democrat that he is, knows that he has a 2-term tenure by the constitution of our republic, and that come 2025, 7 January, he's handing over. But the fear of our compatriots is that the fact that we haven't professed boot for boot, we haven't professed all kinds of
Let's
things,
continue.
and we are based on selling hope and doing the best that will move our nation forward through Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who, inshallah, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo gives them jittery for you to start saying today. It beats me for someone
Shoko,
to
let's
say
continue.
that a coup can be staged through a ballot box. That is interesting and shouldn't be encouraged. And I
we have
She has
employ
apologized.
viewers
She has
after going
apologized.
through dictionary and all
she has
that.
withdrawn.
I employ viewers. Look at the difference. We have always maintained the alternative is scary. It's not about boot for boot. It's about making sure that this nation becomes a nation that is prosperous.
All right, let's move on
So
to
please,
our
let's-
next conversation.
Let's keep away from
This
these
is a
things.
conversation we've been having for some time